President Biden pardons his son, Hunter. Trump has a reaction. He can't help himself. Put it at full mass. So President-elect Donald Trump has reacted to President Joe Biden issuing a pardon for his son, Hunter Biden, from a possible prison sentence for federal felony gun and tax convictions. So Trump called the president's decision a, quote, miscarriage of justice. All right. While pointing to those in prison for actually committing the crime of treason and attempting to overthrow the government in the name of Donald Trump, he said, pointing to those in prison for January 6th riots at the Capitol in his post to Truth Social on Sunday, quote, does the pardon given by Joe to Hunter include the J6 hostages who have now been in prison for years? Such an abuse and miscarriage of justice, Trump wrote. So he's letting you know, first thing he's going to do is pardon the terrorist. That's going to be his backup army, okay? Trump's reaction on Sunday comes months after he signaled a Hunter Biden pardon would be something worth considering if he returned to the White House for a second term. During an interview with conservative radio host Hugh Hewitt in October, the president-elect said, quote, he would not take it off the books when asked about pardoning the sitting president's son. Quote, see, unlike Joe Biden, despite what you've done to me and where they've gone after me so viciously, and Hunter's a bad boy, there's no question about it. He's been a bad boy. Listen, this is exactly what Trump said on the show, okay? I'm not making it up. It's not Saturday Night Live. This is what the man said. He said, he's been a bad boy. All you had to do is see the laptop from hell, he said. But I happen to think it's very bad for our country, Trump added. Now, let's provide some context. Saying the man who called a foreign leader in order to pressure the foreign leader to investigate Hunter Biden. Okay. By withholding millions of dollars approved by Congress for aid relief in the country. I could go down a list of other stuff, but we'll just park it right there. All right. So in pardoning his son, President Biden spared Hunter the possibility of significant prison time stemming from convictions in 2 federal cases brought by special counsel David Weiss. Over the summer, a jury found Hunter Biden guilty on 3 felony counts related to his purchase and possession of a firearm while addicted to drugs. Oh my goodness, you mean all of the Trump supporters are clean and sober? Okay. While addicted to drugs, and in September, he agreed to plead guilty to 9 tax-related charges, including 3 felonies, on the eve of what was expected to be a lengthy and grueling trial. Now, remember, the whole gun thing is because when you buy a gun, they say, hey, listen, are you hooked on crack? He says, no, of course not. Okay. All right. For the tax charges, Hunter Biden faced up to 17 years in federal prison and a $1.35 million fine. His gun-related conviction carried a potential of up to 25 years in prison. He was scheduled to face sentencing for both cases in the coming weeks. On December 12th on the gun-related charges in Delaware, December 16th on the tax charges in California. Trump's reaction to President Biden's decision to pardon his son comes weeks after the two met in the Oval Office to call for a smooth transition or transfer of power when Trump returns to the White House in January. People have texted me, inboxed me, tagged me on social media as to what's my response to Biden pardoning his son. My response to it is that I think it's shameful that Trump had to say it before Biden did. Absolutely. I'm okay with Biden pardoning his son, especially with the incoming injustice administration that has been signaled. All right. Ben, thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that, Biden definitely pledged multiple times, as did his White House, to not pardon his son. But then Biden was pushed out of the election. Then Kamala lost. And there's no doubt that there would have been a lot more lawfare coming at his son. And I think the arguments pointed out in the statement from the White House were fair, that these crimes are typically never pursued, and it was done just politically to damage Biden, Hunter Biden, and President Biden. And it's, it's what you do for your child. I think it's understandable and pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
The big concern I have is that just imagine the crimes now that Eric and Don Jr. will feel carte blanche to commit, knowing for 100% fact
Right.
Dad is going to pardon them. And as to the J6 hostages, as he disgustingly puts it, because these are criminals who attacked our government, and like you said, are traitors. Trump is just so full of it yet again, because he could have pardoned them before his term ended, between J6 and J20. And he said, I'm considering it, I might do it, and then didn't do it for the people
Right.
that supposedly he loved so much. Then complains for 4 years that Biden didn't do it. I'd honestly almost be surprised if he even pardons them now. But you're right, he probably wants a backup army, and so he probably this time will.
Yep.
But he's just such a hypocrite. And so I'm tired of us having to hold ourselves to the standards that nobody else seems to hold themselves to. You got to save your son, save your son.
Yep. There you go. And I do find it ironic, just as you do, that the Trump supporters who are serving federal prison for Donald Trump will never blame Donald Trump, even though, as you well said, he had full authority to free them. Okay.
And luckily, a couple of them do. A couple of them have realized while they're rotting away in jail.
Yeah. Yeah.
This guy wasn't for me.
Right. Yep.
But the vast majority still all on board.
Yep. Cult-like mentality.